Good afternoon, everyone. For those who are watching from the different parts of the country, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao via live streaming, I hope this discussion would be a good reference for you to better understand homeroom guidance. But before anything else, let me just show to you my PowerPoint presentation so we can have a meaningful and good discussion here. My task is actually to tackle the rationale and brief history of homeroom guidance. I will also include the important concepts and foundations of homeroom guidance, the theories that guide its development, its curriculum framework, philosophy, vision, mission, and the three domains. I don't want to be boring, but just a warning, my sharing will be quite academic, so if that's okay with you, and I don't think you have a choice but to listen to me. So maybe we can begin. Uh, so let's start with the past. So I know that most of the viewers here are quite seasoned in the Department of Education. So can you still recall RHGP? So who among you here can still remember these four color-coded modules? These materials were released in 1997 following the DEX Order number 67, series of 1997. Personally, I was able to do the exercises here when I was still a student, and I can remember how my advisors were requiring us to do the task. As indicated in DEX Order number 67 series of 1997, it seeks to develop the student's personality in order to prepare him or her for his or her role in the family, the world of work, and the community. Its objectives are to develop the student's personality through an understanding of self and environment, discover, enhance the aptitude, interest of the student to prepare him or her for the world of work, and higher academic or non-academic studies. Notice that the program tries to emphasize its focus on personality development and cover some aspects of the world of work. I am now showing you the Revitalized Homeroom Guidance Program conceptual framework. On top are the bases for its development. So we had the needs of the Philippine adolescent, followed by the legal basis. So we have the RA 1124 in 1954. We have Memorandum Number 86 series of 1959 and other DepEd documents and laws that support this program. We also have the needs of the Philippine and global society, which was one of the bases of crafting the RHGP. So as you can see here, this program or conceptual framework rather follows the IPO flow. So we have the input process and the output. As its input, we have its objectives, which I already mentioned a while ago. We have the curriculum development process. So they uh, have researches like the Delphi study. They also conducted consultative workshops, pre-testing a prototype guidance program, materials development, teacher training, and tryout. And then they made use of two standardized tests such as high school occupational interest inventory and the Philippine-specific aptitude test battery. And they also look into the requirements of World of Work during that period. As a process, RHGP will be implemented in school, which covers self-awareness, goal setting, decision-making, work experience, boy-girl relationship, and changes in adolescence. Notice the common point of values education, the VE here, and technology and home economics, the THE here, is work values. Moreover, PE, health, and music focus on the changes in adolescent. As the common point of the three subjects, we have sexuality, family values, and responsible parenthood. Let us be mindful on the role of family and community here for the attainment of personality development and career guidance to the experiential learning process. I RHGP clearly defined its ultimate goal under the output, which is a Filipino student or a Filipino adolescent who is caring, responsible, and a committed member of the family and country, is skillful in making decisions, can relate his or her potentials to the varying job requirements to arrive at realistic career or vocational choices. I would like to underscore that RHGP before used to cover high school students and the limited aspects of adolescents here. You may be wondering where we got our concept of homeroom or homerooms. Memorandum number 86 series of 1959, clarification of the guidance provisions of the revised Philippine Educational Program defines homerooms as units of organization which give the importance to the individual and make him or her the core of all activities undertaken to develop his or her personality and cultivate his social relationships with his classmates. So, in a nutshell, it just wants to address the personality and social aspects of the students. RHGP was for secondary level only. It has 40 minutes per session. So, the number of sessions is 30 to 32 sessions per school year or 7 to 8 sessions for each grading period. Modifications will depend on the activities conducted in the regions and in schools. So that's based on Dex Order number 52 series of 1998. Fast forward, uh, in 2015, we tried to look into the current implementation of the program as we conduct data gathering, interviewed implementers in the regions along with other processes and literature review. From there, we developed the curriculum guide of homeroom guidance, formulated its policy, developed learning materials, which is already on the final phase. And now we're conducting our training. We just ended or finished our orientation last July 29 for the regional and division supervisors. If you will be asking me what are the processes involved in the CG development or curriculum guide development, we made a survey on the implementation of homeroom guidance program or the RHGP, wherein we asked, maybe some of you here answered that survey. We asked you regarding the status of RHGP, and that's the quantitative part of data gathering. Its results have to be validated through uh, an FGD and interview with some regional and division personnel. So that's the qualitative part. Then we tried to review the RHGP materials, check its coverage and content, and sadly, the results of data gathering tell us that RHGP time was used for classroom cleaning, advisors homily. So for those advisors who are trying to be a priest inside the classroom, extension of others subjects, collection of letter to parents, and other things. Reflecting on these results, we came up with activities that would eventually gear for the rebirth of RHGP way back in 2016. So, why homeroom guidance? Is it just a repetition of RHGP or just a similar subject to ESP? For those who are thinking that this is an ESP thing, you have to carefully listen to this webinar. But before that, let me direct your attention on how homeroom guidance should be properly appreciated, taking its correct context and lens. For those who are now practicing or who are practicing RGC here, can you give me a thumbs up? So I'm showing you this simple or sample guidance and counseling services chart. We have the individual inventory, which is a record keeping mechanism that involves routine interview. So for those who are doing the routine interview, it's part of the individual inventory. Uh, we also have to store confidential files of the student psychological test results or even academic performance and many more that are being used to understand the student. And this is actually useful during counseling. It helps us to better understand our client. So only the guidance counselor can touch and open the files of these students. Then we have the follow-up service, which entails the counselor to check the current functioning of those students who availed counseling. We also have research and evaluation, which checks the relevance of the program against the needs of the target population and service that entails the counselor to do research for some intervention and concrete understanding of the students. So as you can see, we have a lot of things to do. We're not just sitting down waiting for the clients to enter. Another service here is the placement service where we assist students to find appropriate school for their college application through college fair or career talks, job fair for those who want to work after senior high school, and even those wanting to transfer to another school due to whatever reasons. I experienced helping students with special needs to find an appropriate school for them that can cater to their needs. I tried to connect and communicate with the school so I could check whether the facilities and even the equipment and services for the students are appropriate and helpful for my students. Of course, we have the consultation service. What do we do in this service? So, of course, council, administrators, teachers, and even parents go to us to clarify or even ask us about their mental health issues. RGC is the only mental health professional in school. So, as an RGC, we have to embrace evidence based practice and, of course, data driven practice. Then we have the psychological assessment. For deaf ed schools, it might be a bit challenging because it entails financial uh, support for us to purchase psychological tests. But we can have other types of assessment like the MEC or the mental status examination and other uh, tools that we can use to assess our students. We also have the referral. So what do we do with referral? So we refer students to outside specialists or even outside professional if we think that their case is beyond our control or beyond our expertise. So most especially if the case is becoming too clinical and we need, for instance, psychiatrists, psychologists to help us help this student. The huge chunk of our guidance and counseling services and is of course counseling. Uh, Only RGC based on RA 9258 can practice and can give counseling. So we do this with utmost confidentiality. We do it with professional relationship with our clients. The next service is the information service. So what do we do in information service? So we do information dissemination in different forms like the bulletin boards, flyers, reading materials, symposia, fora, seminars, and guidance curriculum, which is our homeroom guidance. Yes, you heard it right. Homeroom guidance is just part of the information service, so do not mistake it with the entirety of guidance and counseling services. It is just a portion of information service. So for those who are asking, what's the difference of homeroom guidance? Uh, what's the difference between homeroom guidance and ESP? So homeroom guidance focuses on the life skills development, while ESP or edukasyon sa pagpapakatao focuses on the moral compass, on the ethical behavior of students, the concept of what is right and wrong. So I hope the difference between the two is clear now. So aside from the data we gathered from the from the data gathering uh, activities that we had for RHGP, we tried to check what really are the issues and concerns of the current students. In some of our activities during the development stage, we usually invited resource persons to discuss this, plus the data from the government agencies and some readings. We saw that issues like academic failures, school dropouts, bullying, drug addiction, unhealthy sexual behavior, online and social media addiction, confused or even difficult uh, career choices, teenage pregnancy vices, and many more confront our students. Therefore, they need a program that will prepare them to face these realities through life skills development. We cannot control our environment, and I think we have to recognize that, nor the behavior of our students, but we can equip them with the right skills that they can use to overcome the challenges of their developmental tasks. So, uh, we came up with this program to really capacitate our learners or even students on how they will handle their issues. The K-12 curriculum puts emphasis on capacitating learners with skills that they can use to perform their task and nurture it as they progress up to grade 12. Additionally, learners need to perform different tasks, face personal and social issues, and decide which path to take. These needs must be addressed by a responsive program for the learners. So the RHGP before, for secondary learners, an existing DepEd program purports to answer this need. However, there is a pressing need to make it more comprehensive, developmental, and proactive, as learners nowadays have complex and overarching needs that have great impact in their development. I think we have to admit that the needs of learners now are quite different from our needs during the time when we were still studying. Therefore, homeroom guidance promotes rational thinking, healthy behavior, and positive disposition. What's the meaning of these things? Rational thinking would mean making sound and logical decisions and taking things based on data, while good health or healthy behavior, I mean, accounts for the actions that promote good health not only in physical but in mental aspect. Lastly, positive disposition pertains to having a good outlook, hope, motivation to continue life, and a belief that they can overcome the developmental changes or challenges rather. This is very relevant nowadays as we need to really foster hope that there is a rainbow after this pandemic, after this crisis. We can still uh, survive this crisis. All right. So, when we were crafting the new homeroom guidance curriculum, we had to. Sorry about that. That's part of the new normal, I guess. When we were crafting the new homeroom guidance curriculum, we had to be clear where we are coming from. So our belief that would guide us to articulate the vision of the program, so we came up with this philosophy that states every learner is unique and has the ability to develop him or herself using his or her own learning and experiences from family, community, school, and society. This shall be realized through the collaborative efforts of family, school, community, government, and other institutions. In other words, we're not treating our learners as tabula rasa or blank slates. They have their own capabilities to help themselves utilizing what they learn from the environment, which will be realized with the help of the collective effort of family, school, community, and other institutions. So it really takes a village to raise a child. That's where we are coming from when we develop HG. The next in mind is where do we, uh, how do we contribute to the end goal of DepEd, which is to produce holistically developed Filipinos with 21st century skills. Any program in the agency must support its target. So we try to define what is a holistically developed Filipinos with 21st century skills in the context of homeroom guidance. And we say that a holistically developed Filipinos who is someone who is able to achieve academic success, demonstrate healthy behavior, exemplify positive disposition, and systematically plan their future. It shall produce learners who can work for the common good of society while upholding the international standards. Notice that we are um, anchoring on the department's vision. Okay, so how should the vision be carried out? That's the next question. The purpose of our mission states, or the mission states that homeroom guidance is dedicated to address the academic, personal, social, and career development needs of the learners in a developmental, comprehensive, and proactive manner. We are claiming that the HG is developmental in nature as its standards and competencies cut across all grade levels, comprehensive as it covers all aspects of students' life, and proactive as it tries to equip learners with life skills that they can use to overcome different issues. I'm showing you the curriculum framework of homeroom guidance, accounting the needs of the students, Philippine society, and global community, and guided by the theoretical basis and legal basis, we came up with the three domains. So we have the academic development domain, personal and social domain, and career development domain. By the way, we are inspired by the American School Counseling Association model or the ASCA model. And we also read some literature about how we can contextualize and even make sense out of that model. We cannot just ignore the fact that school cannot do it alone. So as you can see, we have the school, the home, and community. So what does the school do? So school ensures the proper implementation of homeroom guidance that leads to the development of the learner's life skills in the three domains. It convenes both home and community for the realization of homeroom guidance vision. What about home? So it plays vital role in the learner's life skills development through its consistent support, involvement, and collaboration with the school and community. It provides guided opportunities that complement the school activities learn of homeroom guidance. Then the community and other institutions reinforce the development of learners' life skills through its engagement in the school programs and activities. It also serves as a support system of the school as they craft policies, programs, and projects that are relevant to the vision, mission, and philosophy of Homeroom Guidance or HG. As you can see here, the arrows are continuing because it is a lifelong process. Even as adults, we still address these domains. No? So when we attend our seminars or webinars like this, we are catering to our academic domain. When we go to graduate school, to finish our MA or even PhD or even postdoc, that's the academic domain. And when we read books, just to enhance or enrich our cognitive faculties that pertains to academic domain. Then the personal and social development domain would entail us to improve how we relate with other people, how we make decisions, how we look at life, etc. Then the career development domain, of course, it's obvious that we are in this profession, but that doesn't mean that we don't look for professional growth because career development is normal for us professionals. Then, having said that, we say that we contribute to produce holistically developed Filipinos. HG is a comprehensive developmental and proactive program that has standards and competencies that cut across all grade levels. So meaning to say, if you will be asking me, sir, is sexuality, drug addiction, bullying, human rights, and other issues embedded already in HG? I would say a resounding yes for that. So the competency indicators are arranged from simple to complex and focus on the development of higher order thinking, such as analyzing and evaluating concepts, processes, procedures, and principles rather than just remembering. The standards and competencies are the same from kindergarten to senior high school, as no life skills can be mastered in just 1 year or so. So it takes a process. What's the difference between and among kindergarten to senior high school? The difference is the complexities of competency indicators. So we try to ensure its developmental nature by making it reflected per level, the same standards, but in a different context. Let's talk about the three domains of homeroom guidance. The standards of HG are anchored on certain theories, since each domain has its own peculiarities in consideration to the needs of Filipino learners and society. We went during the time when we were crafting the curriculum, we were trying to look for a theory that can encapsulate the things that the program needs. But we do recognize that there are some limitations in a certain theory. So the academic development is guided by Jerome Bruner's scaffolding theory that espouses that children will become independent learners as they mature if they are given the support and active help from their parents and teachers at the onset of their learning. Hence, we really involve the academic, um, the parents rather, and the community to really help our learners. The said theory states that the scaffold reminiscent of a building scaffolding of the growing child in their learning process is the knowledgeable person within their proximity. That is their parents at home and teachers in school. Therefore, homeroom guidance really needs the help of the nearest adults who are the parents or even the guardians. Gradually, parental and teacher support can be removed as the learners develop independence in thinking and knowledge and skills acquisition. So some concepts from the learner-centered theory of Jean-Jacques Rousseau were derived for the academic development domain. The theory stipulates the learner's cultural capital or life experiences should be tapped in designing the learning process. So we are in homeroom guidance, we are capitalizing on the learned experiences of, or I mean, the experiences, the lessons from the experiences of students from the home, school, and community. In this way, a participative classroom interaction will be in place. Learners are not viewed as tabula rasa, and they are assumed to possess cultural kit or accumulated experiences, which serve a significant factor in the learning process. If learners' experiences are ignored, thinking will be limited and meaning making of lessons will be hardly attained. We also made use of the cognitive learning theory of John Piaget. Uh, it believes that cognitive development is a continuous process as the biological maturation and environmental influence take place. Learners gain knowledge and go through the differences between what they learn and what the existing realities are. Furthermore, it claims that learning and new knowledge can be stored if there are effective cognitive processes, while learners encounter learning difficulties with ineffective cognitive processes. The theory tries to illustrate the processes and mechanisms how reasoning skills and thinking using hypotheses developed by an infant as he or she becomes an adult later on. So Piaget included the concept of schema, which refers to a cohesive, repeatable action sequence processing component actions that are tightly interconnected and governed by core meaning. It is a set of linked mental representations of the world which people use to make meaning and act on different situations. During the development of mental processes, schemata increase in number, including its complexities. That's why, uh, guided by this theory, we think that the cognitive processes or the another concept in this theory that HG embraces is the adaptation process that includes assimilation, accommodation, and equilibration. Assimilation occurs when a person uses his or her schema to understand the new situation or things, while accommodation happens when the previous knowledge is irrelevant and needs to be changed. To understand the new situation or things, moreover, equilibration directs the learner to attain equilibrium, which happens when learner assimilates or accommodates new information. For personal and social domain, we made use or we are guided by Eric Erickson's psychosocial development. We actually made we actually got inspiration from this theory. Its descriptive overview of social and emotional development was taken as one of the considerations in crafting the standards and competencies. Of course, we have to account also the results of the current realities or profile of our youth or even students. His view on mastering the attitudes, ideas, and skills at each stage of development to help learners to be successful and contributing members of society is highly evident in the program. So we are treating learners when they face the developmental tasks guided by the theory of Erickson. So the last domain is the career domain. So we made use of Crumbolt's theory of career development, also Super's development theory of career choice, Ginsberg's concept of career development. So Crumbolt's theory of career development claims that genetic endowment that includes sex, race, developmental disabilities, innate talents affect the career choice of a person. So the career choice that we have are actually relevant or connected with our uh, maybe sex, race, and other innate talents. Furthermore, the environment, life events, and learning experiences also shape one's career decisions. People's changing roles and priorities create great impact to their career directions. So for Super's developmental theory of career choice, he said that a person career advances, uh, it undergoes five life stages. So five, what are these stages? That include growth, exploration, establishment, maintenance, and decline. His concept of establishing a self-concept as a person grows plays an important role in identifying occupation. The concept of vocational maturity, which may be attributed to person's age, undergoes a cycle as manifested in his or her career transitions. We believe that career is a continuous cycle. No? So the concept of career development as a lifelong process, including its early development of Ginsberg, is clearly reflected in the career development domain. That's why we, as you can see the curriculum here, the career domain is already present as early as kinder up to grade 12. HG advocates that early inclusion of career concept in their lives to guide them as they discover the path that they want to take. So these are the theories that guide the three domains of homeroom guidance. We just got those that are essential and applicable to homeroom guidance. So to discuss the homeroom guidance standards, competencies, and most essential learning competencies, I will now turn the mic over to Dr. Melinda Andres. Thank you so much.